The Lions, they've been a laughingstock. I feel like the Lions and the Jets right now are two teams that have been laughingstocks for a long time, but are finally trending upwards.
I'd include the Giants in there too.
Yeah.
Now, we know they drafted Aidan Hutchinson with the second overall pick. Home run pick, without a doubt. But the surprise move was Jameson Williams, trading up in the draft to now go get Jameson Williams. What do you think about this move? How dangerous does this make the Lions offense? Are we going to see 2018 Jared Goff?
Ooh, I want to start with you. Jameson's your guy.
I was definitely happy to see Jameson getting taken relatively early. I was shocked to see Olave taken before Jameson Williams. There must have been some type of worry within the Saints organization with Jameson Williams' health injury, and you have Michael Thomas who you can't rely on. You can't have two worries, so maybe that's the only way I understand. But for the Lions to come in and swoop in to steal Jameson Williams like that, to pair with Amon-Ra, you have DeAndre Swift already paired with Jamal Williams in that backfield. Now it's a matter of Jared Goff, being able to elevate these guys to be successful in this offense. We saw Amon-Ra down the stretch of the season be dominant, be arguably, I would say he's probably the third best rookie receiver last season. You had Jamar, you had Waddle, and then you had Amon-Ra. He was extremely productive. If you had him in fantasy,
Would you rather have Amon-Ra or Elijah going forward? Elijah Moore?
Wow, that is an excellent question. Elijah, he showed flashes earlier than Amon-Ra did. I would probably go Elijah for the route running, but that's really close. That's a really good question. But this offense is very dynamic, very explosive offense. Amon-Ra showed that he can be very productive, and Jameson Williams is just one big play waiting to happen. DeAndre Swift was dominant when he was playing, both as a receiving back and a regular running back. DeAndre Swift is an extremely great talent. It's just a matter of the way that they use him and if he's going to be able to stay healthy, because that was an issue down the stretch for him.
They used him perfectly last year, though.
Absolutely.
And with Jared Goff checking down as much as he does.
No, for sure. And that was a concern coming to the season, and they completely threw that away. And the Lions having a solid offensive line, they have done a great job of putting guys in front of the quarterback. Now it's a matter of Jared Goff can elevate his play to bring the Lions to that next level. The defense still needs some work. Aidan Hutchinson, home run pick like we mentioned, for him to fall to 2 and for them to arguably get the best rusher in the draft when they desperately needed that. Yeah. For sure. Excellent move for them. I love this draft by the Lions. We're going to talk about winners later, and you can 100% bet that the Lions will be there.
With you, I assume you had Aidan Hutchinson as the best player.
Oh, for sure.
And you have Jameson Williams as the best receiver.
There we go. So, what more can you ask for a team?
Big Lions fan this year.
Oh, absolutely.
I disagree with what you said about Jared Goff elevating his play. I feel like the Lions are putting Jared Goff in a position where he can be Jared Goff but still look good because the surrounding parts around him are very good.
So would you say what they're doing is what the Dolphins are doing with Tua?
Yeah. Okay. For sure.
In what sense?
That they're just putting phenomenal playmakers around their limited quarterback.
Tua's limited now?
Yes.
And that's he not.
Kirk Cousins is limited. He's still a really good quarterback.
In what sense is Kirk Cousins limited, though?
He doesn't have the ability to throw off platform like the top guys do. He's not as mobile as the top guys as well.
He's not. I don't know. I disagree.
You think Tua can make the same crossbody throws that Josh Allen, Mahomes, Herbert
come on,
but that's
limited. That's
limited.
I
guess.
We're
talking about how many people can do that in the NFL.
Can he run like Zach Wilson?
I've seen Zach make some very similar throws.
He made one.
Yeah, he's made some. One. No, he made more than one. He made more than one.
You guys have taken this one throw and say Zach Wilson's arm.
He made multiple in the Tennessee game. He made multiple.
Can Tua make a run like Zach? The one against the Jaguars, a 50-yarder?
Can Zach Wilson run over a defender the way that Tua can? No.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
Yeah. I wouldn't want Zach to do
I don't
that,
want him to do that.
No, because one, he doesn't have the capabilities, and two, he probably doesn't have...
Probably
we can't... I was going to say, we're not going to talk about Zach being hurt with Tua.
Yeah,
I literally was about to go, and
Zach might tear up his shoulder if he does that. That's why I don't want him to do that.
He's too pretty to do that.
Yeah.
But no, you can't ask for more if you're the Lions. If you're a Lions fan right now, you have gone through a lot of suffering. Shout out my boy Sean. He's gone through a lot of suffering, and for the Lions to hit a home run the way that they did is absolutely huge.
Without a doubt. Yeah. I thought you wanted to go on with Jared Goff, and that's your guy.
So that's it. So I'll answer that.
Jared Goff is never my guy.
Let's be real.
I feel like you kind of like him more than the average guy.
I do, definitely.
If you're Jared Goff,
because people think he's like the worst quarterback in the NFL.
He's like the 20th best.
I'll say he's like 16, 18.
Nah, 20. No,
I'm
way too high.
I think 18, 20. between him and Jalen Hurts. Is that not an argument?
No,
it's not a debate.
It's
yes,
not.
it is.
No, it's not.
It is.
You said Mitchell Trubisky over Jalen Hurts.
That's
Jesus.
close. That's
Dude,
close.
I feel like
you could take that back right now. They just got AJ Brown. You want to take that back?
Well, just because he has this spectacular season with one of the best wide receivers in the NFL doesn't mean that he's a better quarterback.
Okay, and Mitch has Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Najee Harris too.
Well, he might not even start now because they got Kenny Pickett.
If Kenny Pickett beats him out, there's no way in God's name you could say Mitch is better than Jalen Hurts.
Well, unless Kenny Pickett's really, really good.
Go on. What are you going to say, Drew?
That he does need to elevate. Because if you're the Lions, you can't continue to live underneath the bottom of that division. Yeah. That division, now that Rodgers is not throwing to anyone of relevance, you need to really try and put yourself in a position to contend for that division. And I don't think that's next season, but if Jared Goff decides to elevate, maybe they could fight for a wild card spot.
Look, I love this because I know there was a lot of smoke around maybe Malik Willis being the second overall pick, which I thought was
Thank
crazy.
Christ they didn't do that, man.
Because now they can get him in the second round. I mean, they could possibly get him. I think the Vikings hold their pick, though.
Yeah, they don't have a pick till the 60s, I want to say.
That would have been a mistake. I think the Lions are doing a great job. I said this on Twitter. I tweeted this out, that there is not a weakness on the Lions offense. And what I mean by that is that there is no position on the Lions offense currently that you look at and say, that's a dire position of need. Last year, it was wide receiver. They now have Jameson Williams. Amon-Ra St. Brown has showed that he can be a capable receiver in the NFL. They signed DJ Chark. They have 2 4-3 guys. And Jameson's going to be ready for camp. He's healing faster than people are expecting. TJ Hawkinson, they don't need tight end. Offensive line,
great.
Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell, Frank Ragnow, Jonah Jackson, Vitae. There's no dire need at running back. DeAndre Swift, there's not a dire need. And I know Jared Goff gets a lot of shit, but he's not a horrible quarterback. He is closer to 20 than he is 15, but he is a capable quarterback, and he can win games if the supporting cast around him is good enough. So you look at the Lions, and there's not one position on offense where you say, wow, that position sucks on their roster. It's not that way. And then defensively, they're getting better. Hutchinson, Michael Brockers, who's average, and Romeo Okwara was injured last year, but he's going to be healthy this upcoming season. In 2020, he had a breakout season, and the Lions then paid him. And then you also have rotational pass rushers in Charles Harris and Julian Okwara. The Lions are building something good. They brought in Deshaun Elliott, Gerard Davis, who was their former first-round pick, and Mike Hughes, who had a good season as a corner with the Chiefs. The Lions are building something good right now. I think they're ways away on defense. They need to bolster up that secondary, Correct. Their linebackers, and get outside of Aidan Hutchinson, which we're projecting him to be good right away. You're banking on guys like Romeo Okwara, who have only had one great year of production. So defensively, I think they're ways away. Offensively, they
can put up points.
Offensively, they're an upgrade from Jared Goff away from making a big-time leap offensively.
They have the second best offensive core in that division. I mean, obviously, Chicago is terrible.
So
the Packers are terrible.
You're saying Minnesota,
Lions. Yeah, Jettis Thielen, Dalvin Cook.
The defense needs to be better.
Yeah.
They were ranked 31st in scoring.
They were terrible. That's Dan Campbell's specialty, so I believe in. And I was kind of skeptical in Campbell, but he showed they have fight. They have grit. So shout out to Detroit. It looks like they're turning things around, and I think they're okay with Jared Goff one more season. Let him ride out. He'll put up a decent season. I mean, this past year statistically, he was not that bad. I know PFF rated him as like the 32nd best quarterback or whatever, but he really wasn't that terrible. I think. I know they was he out? No,
19 touchdowns, 8 picks.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
Which is what it's average. It's whatever.
But for
it's
what you're getting from Jared Goff,
yeah.
They tied with the Steelers, who were a playoff team. I know they were without Ben, but even still. But in terms of Jameson Williams, this has the potential to change everything for this offense. Jameson, who was the guy who I wanted the Jets to take at 10, he wasn't my wide receiver 1, but I thought he brought something the Jets desperately needed at 10. And the same thing with Detroit, because you have Amon-Ra, who's probably more of a possession receiver.
Definitely.
DJ Chark's on a 1-year deal. Hawkinson, again, probably attacking over the middle of the field more than a vertical threat. And DeAndre Swift, who's great out of the backfield. But Jameson really opens up the offense. So you have someone with electric speed. If he would have ran the 40, it wouldn't surprise me if he ran the 4.2s. So you bring someone in who has the ability for defenses to have to respect the deep ball. And I know Jared Goff, it's been some years since he's really shown the ability to show off his arm, but now you have someone like Jameson who could take the top off of of defenses, and it has to be even sweeter for Detroit fans because they traded up with the Vikings. So the Vikings are going to have to go against Jameson Williams for the next however many years and know they're the reason why Detroit had them. And if you look at what they gave up, they got picks 12 and 46, which is the second round pick. They gave up 32, 34, and 66. So they traded back in the second round and gave up an extra third round pick to move up 20 spots in the first round. To me, I thought they came away like bandits with that deal. Like, I thought it was an easy trade, especially in division as well. Like, not in a million years would I do that trade with my division rival, knowing that I'm going to have to go up against Jameson Williams, especially with the Vikings who have struggled on defense over the last couple of years.
They have no secondary
at all. They drafted
respect Cam Dantzler.
I was gonna say they drafted Lewis Seen.
I was gonna say with the 32. He's a safety.
He's good though. He's really good.
He is good. And then lastly on Jameson Williams, I know everyone labels him as like the speed threat, but he's more than that. 84% of his yards, 85% of his yards came when he was deemed open by PFF. So it's not like he's this Henry Ruggs type of guy where everyone just thinks he's a vertical threat. He's a good route runner. He's great after the catch as well. So the 49ers, while we're deeming him as this vertical threat, he's going to be able to do things over the middle of the field as well. You're going to get him on screens and jet passes or jet handoffs, everything like that, and get him and use him in space because once you get the ball in his hands, might not be anyone in the NFL who's going to be able to catch up with him.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you said. The Vikings, I don't think... Look, I right now would have the Vikings winning the division.
Vikings should have stayed there and taken Jameson Williams.
That would have been nuts.
I would have either taken Kyle Hamilton or Trent McDuffie.
Yes, they needed secondary desperately, but with Thielen getting older, Jet is there, and we see the blueprint already. You add weapons to a squad, you get better.
But truth be told, it's like the Vikings. Offensively, they don't need anything. They're
offensive line maybe, but
yeah, but even then, you drafted Christian Darrisaw last season.
For sure.
Their offensive line got better.
Definitely.
Bradbury's definitely the one there where you're like, okay, like you definitely need to upgrade that and add guard as well. But look at Minnesota. Their only needs are free safety.
Yep.
Because Harrison Smith is there, but they don't have free safety. Corner. They traded back, but they got Lewis Sin, who they wanted, who is...
He's a really good player.
He's really good. I mean, he's like a jet.
He started as a freshman at Georgia. Yeah. That should tell you all you need to know.
And then at pick 34, they're going to go corner, I believe. It's either going to be corner or Malik Willis.
You think they go Booth?
I think it's a possibility they go Booth. So you get Andrew Booth. You have Patrick Peterson, who just came back. You also have Cameron Dantzler, who's not bad. Cameron Dantzler's an okay corner.
You think they should have taken Kyle Hamilton? I feel like they have Harrison Smith.
Yeah, that's the only thing. It would have been an upside pick.
I think
it would have been a Harrison Smith replacement
for sure.
But even Lewis Sin, between him and Kyle Hamilton, I know this can sound a little bit crazy, but for the value,
they do different things. Though.
For the value, I don't know if it's that far off. Like I think Lewis Sin is going to be a big time player.
Yes, I think it's pronounced Sin, but I'm pretty sure. Okay, Lewis Sin. He's going to play more of a free safety role. He's going to be that single high safety because he has ridiculous speed. He's going to be able to play everything on the field. While Hamilton's going to play more of the strong safety role that Harrison Smith already does, defending the run, tight ends, stuff like that. So they're going to play different roles. So what they needed, it makes sense to trade back. But to drop 20 spots and really you're picking up an extra third, and it's your division rival who's getting a game breaker wide receiver. I mean, KVR obviously is a huge Vikings fan. He was distraught by what was he? Yeah, he was. How can you?
I mean, you go from 11. That's a primetime pick. This is a solid draft.
Yeah,
it definitely hurts.
It's rough, but I agree. I think Minnesota right now should be the favorite to win the division.
I looked at my tweets. I was looking back at my tweets, and I tweeted this last year before the draft, March 8th, 2021. I have this weird feeling that if Mac Jones is there at 10, the Dallas Cowboys will draft him. It didn't happen, but I thought it could happen. I wish it happened.
I actually really wanted Minnesota to take Jameson Williams. That would have been so elite.
It would have been very cool.
You think that if Garrett Wilson was on the board, so they actually go Garrett Wilson?
Instead of trading? Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to say yes just because you pair that with Jet is you have two of those type of what's the word? Freestyle type wide receivers. Things get crazy over there.
You're talking about Jameson?
No, I'm talking about Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense.
Also, when talking about this Mac Jones thing, I thought the Broncos were taking Micah.
I thought so too.
I thought you were taking Fields.
No, I thought we were. Me personally, I wanted Fields. In hindsight.
So when I was doing
I love you, George. I love you so much.
Sure,
so when I was doing my mock draft,
I would say Micah Parsons because we needed linebacker really badly. Even still, right now as we stand,
would you guys have used him though, like how Dallas did,
as a hybrid? After the trade, maybe with Von Miller getting traded, maybe
Yeah,
we use him as
yeah,
a hybrid. But no doubt about it, to start the season, he's a linebacker. We needed it.